Welcome to all of you. My name is Laura Garrison-Brook. This class is going to be about Agya, or Ajna, which is the sixth chakra, the third eye. I often hesitate because I want to say sixth eye. I'm like, no, sixth chakra, third eye. And today we're going to be talking about how we come into a place of appreciative inquiry in order to allow nature to unfold. Okay? So, feeling the feet on the earth, grounding down here. Letting yourself get rooted and get centered. Breathing. Landing in this moment, knowing that Agya Chakra is the seat of our intuition. It's our master chakra. It means to command and to perceive. Palms shine forwards. And with the eyes closed, let's inhale those arms out and up, reach up. And at the same time, feel your feet grounding down into the earth, taking up lots of space, stretching up. And then hands together down the midline into the heart space. So again, inhale those arms out and up, reach it up, lift it up. Exhale the hands down. Flowing with the breath. Inhaling up. Exhale down. And just allow yourself to drop down here. On this beautiful Sunday, no matter what the weather looks like outside, this beautiful Sunday to be practicing connecting with our Agya Chakra. Hands down the midline. And snuggle the base of the thumbs into the heart. Soften those knees. Root down into the feet. And breathe here, closing the eyes. And just feel. Without any judgment or any sense that things should be different than they are. Just feel. Another breath. And then drop those arms down and reach up, lift up. So I spent the morning listening to Anand's wisdom talk on Agya Chakra. Exhale, come on down. And he said something, and I've listened to this talk many times. That's what I do when we go through our the chakras. I keep listening to the wisdom talks over and over and over again. Because obviously they hit you different ways based on where your mind's at, right? So softening those knees here in your forward fold. And let's take a nice long inhale. And let's do our Carl style exhale, which is when we count out our exhale. 1, 2, 3. And as you're counting, you can be, if you're not really being mindful, it can be sneaky how like you sneak in and inhale. We just keep exhaling as we count and count and count down to a sub-whisper and then squeeze the air out. This is our detox for the lungs. And then we roll it up. Carl Stough, S-T-O-U-G-H, if you want to Google him. Such an interesting guy. Inhale, reach up. And then let's arch over, doesn't matter which way. So Carl Stough believed that the health of our respiration lies in the exhale. So go the other direction, stretching it out, side bending. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale, dive down, come down. folding forward. And again, nice big inhale. And then let's exhale out, counting. 1, 2, 3. And you keep counting. And what's cool about the Carl style exhale is you might notice in time, it's like, oh, I used to kind of be done with my exhale at 8, and now I can go to 12. Or, some other number. Squeezing it out. Once you get down to that sub-whisper, squeeze it out. Draw the diaphragm up and in. Squeeze out those lungs. Really wringing out the lungs. And then inhale, arch up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release. Oh, look, my head is off camera. Step that right leg back. Nice long line. So left knee is right over the ankle, hands frame the foot. So what Anand mentioned in his wisdom talk that really settled in me today for the focus of this practice, drop that knee down, low runner's lunge, is he talked about how, Agya Chakra, it's about cultivating a deep connection to silence, letting the hips release down, relax down, so that we become more and more connected to our intuitive intelligence. Set those hips back, toes stay down, folding over the leg, and inhale it forward. And one of the things he shared, exhale it back, toes rise up, is that as we connect deeper and deeper to our third eye, we have a greater sense of what nature is supporting within us. Inhale forward. And the example that he gives is a mango tree. Anand lives in Rishikesh, which is the birthplace of yoga. And they're surrounded by mango trees. Exhale it back, toes rise up again. And you can either keep folding here, or you can walk your hands a little bit to the left. It's probably going to intensify the stretch. You can also hold on to the outer edge of the foot if you can reach that far down. You can also put your hands on blocks, if you have your blocks. My blocks are very far away right now. Twisting open, breathe. And then come on up and come into lizard. So with lizard, hands on the inside of the foot, heavy edge of the left foot, let that knee fall open. And breathe into the hip. We're still opening up the hip, so be kind. And if only I had my blocks, I'd possibly come down onto the blocks on my elbows. This is where I want to be like Luke Skywalker and just go like this and suck them into my hand. Another breath. And then curl those back toes under. Frame that foot. Pouring energy down that back heel. Another breath. Ground the hands and step it back, down dog. Walk your dog out. So what Anand mentioned about these mango trees is he says that, Agya is about us connecting to time, having a sense of how we exist in time, and also glide forward, plank pose, a connection to that timeless entity that we are. There are effectively two essences of us. Our time-bound essence, breathing here in our Dandasana. Time-bound and timeless. Another breath. And come on down, Ashtanga Pranam or Chaturanga. Ground the hips, hands under shoulders, and lift up. Maybe the fingers are light. Listen to the body. We've been talking a lot over the past week about having our yoga experience be intuitive. Listening to the body. What does the body want to do? Does the body want to keep Bhujangasana low? Does the body want to bring the hands out beyond the mat into like a super cobra? Maha Bhujangasana? Do you want to bring more height into your cobra? Close the eyes. Don't look at me. Don't look at me as best you can, especially as you mature into your practice. The more you can just listen and not watch me, because that means you're not comparing yourself to how I hold the pose, because I hold the pose to suit my body. And your body might need something very different. We inhale and we lift. We exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. And then plug those hands underneath the shoulders and come on back. Anatasana. Puppy dog stretch. Press those hands into the mat. And if you have a block, maybe put the block underneath your forehead. It's super sweet to get a connection to Ajna here, Agya. I've heard the third eye chakra pronounced like 5 different ways. Plug the hands into the mat, curl the toes, lift the hips, come on up. Agya and Ajna are the 2 that I use the most. Head hangs heavy. Roll the head on the neck. So we're unifying the picture, the symbol, what symbolizes Agya Chakra is a 2-petal lotus. Step that right foot forward. Hands frame the foot. And this is all about unifying Shiva and Shakti. Shiva, which is consciousness. Drop that knee down. Low runner's lunge. Hips are heavy. Release it down, stretching it out. Shoulders relax down. Nice long neck. And set those hips back, toes stay down, folding over the leg. So Shiva is consciousness, Shakti is activity or energy. And this is the beauty of bringing these 2 things together. When we have activity, but not a state of consciousness, it's like we're kind of almost spinning. Which can be exhausting, running on the treadmill. But when you have a strong sense of consciousness but no activity, you kind of just laze around. Bring those hips forward, and then exhale them back. So what Anand was sharing about the mango trees, folding over, is as we connect to our Agya Chakra, we have a greater sense of how nature supports us in time. What is right for that moment? And he shares about how, the mango tree exists all year round. And at a certain point, it blossoms. And it has, from what he said, I've never seen a mango tree in blossom. He says the flowers emit this incredible fragrance. Exhale it back, toes rise up, folding over that right leg. And now your choice of how you experience this. You could just keep folding, where you're like, this feels good. This intuitively feels like my pose right now. Or you can walk both hands to the right of that right leg. Maybe the left hand holds on to the outer edge of the right foot or not. Remember, if you have a block, if you were smart and had your blocks closer than I've got mine, you can put your hands on the blocks, folding over. And then come on up. And then coming into your lizard on this side, both hands on the inside of that right foot, heavy on the outer edge of that right foot. Knee falls out to the side and breathe. And again, if you have your blocks, you can come on down onto your forearms on the block. Or not. Or you might be like, Laura, I'm not only not coming down on my forearms, I need my hands to be on the block so I have more height. That's cool too. Listen to the body. This is not a competition. Another breath. And then bring that knee back. So the mango flowers, and then there's this moment where there's this incredible leap forward, coming back into your Anahatasana, hips over heels, palms press. And then plug those hands into the mat, curl the toes, lift the hips, down dog. And this flower, which looks nothing like a mango, and we have a similar experience, if you're like, yeah, I've got an apple tree in my yard. I personally have a peach tree. So the peach tree flowers, and you look at it, it's gorgeous. But then all of a sudden, all these little peaches pop right up where the flowers used to be. Float that right leg back and up, stretch it up, reach it up. If you like three-legged dog, roll the foot on the ankle. Stretch it up. Another breath. And step that foot forward. Coming into your Virabhadrasana 1. Take your time. Lift it up. Squaring the hips forward. Breathing here. Another breath. And then let's step off onto our right leg, lifting up into Bakasana. And act, rather than having our hands, as we typically do, we can bring our hands together in Hakini. Hakini Mudra is when all of our finger pads touch each other. Okay? And breathe here, thinking about opening up Ajna. And maybe we leave our hands in Hakini as we float into Vira 3. Another breath. And then the right hand comes down, float the left hip up, stretch that arm up, Ardha Chandrasana. Beautiful long line of energy. Breathe here. Another breath. And then bend that leg, step it back, and inhale left. Warrior 1. So the mango tree all year long is, it's there. And while the mangoes, past the season, it's, existing. It's, kind of gathering itself. And then there are the flowers, and then the mangoes come forth, right? Open it up into your Vira 2. And this is our opportunity to connect to Agya in a similar way. Connecting to this sense of being here in this moment. Another breath here in Vira 2. Straighten the leg. And what Anand pointed out, glide forward. Trikonasana is from our 4th chakra, Anahata. We have this appreciation of what is. And I was listening to it this morning, and I've listened to this multiple times, but finally, I connected the dots. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's talking about appreciative inquiry. Right? Because what he mentions as an example is there's a lot of us breathing in our Trikonasana, float up, is we're in our lives and we're planting seeds and we're trying to grow wheat. That was the example he gave. When nature is really supporting us in possibly growing rice. And we're trying to grow wheat and we're trying to grow wheat and it's not working. And we're like, why? Why isn't this working? Float that left hand back. Come on up into your reverse. And then side angle. Your experience of side angle. As you all know from me, I'm kind of an elbow down side angle girl. But some of you might love putting your hand on a block, putting your hand down onto the floor. Listen to your body. Listen. Another breath, really stretch. Feel that beautiful stretch through the side waist. Float it up. So I love that he takes this appreciative inquiry approach, hands either side of the foot. And for those of you who might be newer students and you're like, I don't know what she's talking about, appreciative inquiry, come on back into your down dog. And your choice here, do you want to flow with me through a vinyasa? Or do you want to come down into child's pose? Do you want to rest in down dog? Listen to the body. If you're flowing with me, I invite you to go from plank back into down dog. Inhale it forward, glide forward. Feel the bone on bone. Beautiful. Weight-bearing exercise in the arms, strengthening our bone density. Exhale it back. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale it back. Let's do 2 more. So with appreciative inquiry, last one. Inhale forward. And come on down. Ashtanga Pranam or Chaturanga. Inhale up. Bhujangasana or up dog. Breathing here. Listening to your body. Feeling this beautiful back bend wherever you are. Squeezing the kidneys and the adrenals. And then come on to the knees. Anahatasana. Puppy dog stretch. Stretch it out. So appreciative inquiry is when we look at our lives and rather than focus on what isn't working, we look and we say, what is working? Where are things going well? And this is, in the words of Anand, where is nature supporting us? Where are we flowing? And if you make a quick scan and you're like, nothing is flowing. Float that left leg back and up, stretch it up, reach it up. I invite you to give yourself time. Because maybe nothing comes to mind right now, but you might be surprised if you start drawing awareness. Float on up, lift up, reach up. You might be surprised at how with a shift in perspective, we lost our music, you'll start becoming more aware of things. All right, y'all stay in Vera 1 for just a second. Let me get our music started again. So I always listen to our music on YouTube, so sometimes we get hit with ads. No, we're good. And then we step off onto that left foot, coming into Bakasana, Karate Kid pose, hands in Hakini, if you'd like to take Hakini. Again, this means all the pads of the fingers lightly touch with the palms apart. This is very good for our mental acuity. Yay. Another breath. And then staying in Hakini, if you'd like. Coming into our Vera 3. Oh man, I was so good on the other side. And just, noticing how balance can be so different from one side of the body to the other, right? And then the left hand floats down as you lift the right arm up into your Ardha Chandrasana, balancing half moon. Whew. Another breath. And then step it back. And inhale up, Vira 1. And open it up, Virabhadrasana 2. So for the rest of class, I've given you a mini lecture, Compliments of Anand Mehrotra, from the class I'm taking. So for the rest of class, I invite you to really drop down into silence. Straighten that front leg. Glide forward. Come on down. Dropping down. Allowing yourself just to come to this connection. Breathing here. Float it up. Vira 2. A connection with a greater sense of silence. And a connection to what is working well in your life. Breathing here into your reverse, keeping that front leg bent. Left arm reaches overhead. And then side angle. Another breath. And float the arm down and around. Come on up. And hands either side of the foot. Come on down. Walk your dog out. Tailbone rises up and head hangs heavy. Another breath. Feeling yourself just dropping down into the quiet. And your choice if you come down into child's pose, stay here in down dog, or flow with me through a vinyasa. Coming into plank, lifting up, exhaling. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. And come on down. And lift up. Bhujangasana. And then come on to the knees. Anahatasana. And then widen those knees, touch the toes, sit back, child's pose, palms face up, or hands can be in Hakini Mudra overhead. And allow yourself to drop down, cultivating that stillness. The second sutra of Patanjali, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. Really feeling Agya heavy on the earth. And if you have a hard time getting the third eye down onto the mat. Please use a block. If you don't have a block, stack your hands, stack your fists so that your forehead comes down onto the fists. Okay? Do what you need to do so that you have a connection, and breathe into the third eye. Feel that pressure. It's very grounding, very, very calming to our neurological systems to have this pressure on the forehead. Another breath. And then let's walk the hands to the left. Forehead still comes down onto a block or the mat. Stretching open. Breathe into that right lung. And then walk the hands through center and go to the left. Breathing. Drop that left shoulder down. Breathe into that left lung. Rolling the eyes up and in Sambhave Mudra. And then flip the hands so the backs of the hands are on the mat, palms are up, and feel yourself open. Open to a greater connection to your intuition. Open to guidance. That intuitive intelligence. Being open to this guidance so that you soak up this wisdom. Another breath. And then gently come on up. Coming down onto the belly, elbows underneath shoulders, palms pressed, traction the heart forward in Sphinx. And send energy into the elbows so that the spine grows long, the neck grows long, shoulders are down the back. Breathe into the kidneys and adrenals. Feeling that beautiful squeeze through the back body. Kidneys and adrenals live just above the belt line. And adrenal fatigue is very real. We talked about that in our last class, about how we're often flooded with adrenaline. We're stepping on the brake and stepping on the gas in our physical, as if our body was a race car. You're like, a race car, Laura? I might be more like a Toyota. Hands underneath the shoulders. Let's make ourselves race cars. Sexy race cars. Coming on up. And we're often flooded with adrenaline, flooded with cortisol, which is a stress hormone. But at the same time, we're stepping on the brake because it's not okay for us to flee or fight, which is what our body's natural response is. So coming onto a seat. So that effectively results in adrenal fatigue because our adrenals are overtaxed, throwing out all this adrenaline, which we're not burning through. So allowing the knees to fall open in our Baddha Konasana, our cobbler pose. Knees are open. Pressing the elbows down, dropping the knees down. Fingers, thumbs can be on the inside of the soles of the feet, allowing the feet to fall open. Another breath. And let's come on to the back body, and I am finally going to grab my block. Grab a strap if you have one. We're going to do our Supta Padangusthasana, which is what we traditionally do at the end of class. It's one of the most classic ways to maintain health in the spine, health in the low back. Okay, So if you only have 5 minutes a day to do yoga, this is what I recommend you do, especially if you have low back issues. So let's hug the right knee into the chest, squeeze it in, breathe into the low belly. And then we inhale that leg up overhead. Now, if you don't have a strap and your hamstrings are tight, you can totally hold the arm behind the thigh. Hold the hands behind the thigh, like I'm doing right now. We're really pulling the toes back, shining energy up the leg, out the heel. Okay? And if you have a strap, you can put the strap around, if I can get it around the ball of the foot. Put it around the ball of the foot, and you can have the strap in one hand, while the other hand just runs up and down the back of the leg. Have that feel really sweet, very nurturing, sending love to this leg. Keep dropping down into silence. Feeling a sense of gratitude to have this leg, have this foot that carries you around, that served you so committedly. Draw that leg in. And then if you have a strap, putting both sides of the strap in the right hand and drop that leg out to the right. If you have a block, you can kickstand the block under the leg. I've got this handy dandy wall so that you're breathing into the inner groin. And just allow yourself to relax down. That's why it's nice to have a block to kickstand the leg, because that way you can relax. And if you're feeling super tense, you can put the block at its greatest height and put it up close to the thigh. If your leg is going up pretty high, that'll still give you a bit of support. Another breath. And then float that leg up overhead. Draw the leg in. Breathe. And then take your piriformis stretch, which is when you bring the leg at just a little bit of a diagonal across the body. The leg is still up overhead. And if you have a tight piriformis, you'll feel a zing right down the middle of your glute. Another breath. And then take the spinal twist of your choosing. The most gentle spinal twist is when you stack knee on knee. You're twisting to the left. Right shoulder is down on the mat as you're looking over your right shoulder. So knee on knee is the most gentle. You can extend the bottom leg long, put the sole of the foot on the sole of the right foot on the left knee as you twist open. That's a little bit more, it's a little deeper. The most intense stretch is when you will extend your leg out. And again, if you've got your block, you can kickstand the leg on the block. What's most important is that right shoulder stays down, stays on the mat. So if you're peeling the right shoulder off the mat, if the back part isn't flat, then back off your twist and breathe. And float that leg up overhead. Draw it in. Breathing. And releasing the strap. Extend the leg long. And come on down. And if you're not familiar with Supta Padangusthasana, you might be like, holy moly, I've grown. My right leg is now like an inch longer than my left. And I'll tell you, as a yoga teacher, when I walk around seeing students, I can visually see that one leg is longer than the other. So this is not an optical illusion, or a sensory illusion, I should say. This is not a sensory illusion. Your leg truly has been lengthened by this flow. Breathing here. And then let's do that same thing on the other side. So first we hug the left knee into the chest, stretching it out. Closing the eyes, roll the eyes up and in, going inside. Cultivating that connection to silence. And if you have a strap and that's what you'd like to do, you put the strap around the ball of the foot and extend that leg up overhead. Maybe wrapping the strap around the right hand now, and then running the left hand up and down the leg. And check in with the neck. I just noticed I was doing something weird. I have a tendency to like jut my chin up towards the ceiling. So you want to snuggle the chin down towards the chest so the back of the neck is long. And just spreading kindness, spreading love, spreading compassion on this leg that has served you so faithfully. Feeling gratitude for this leg. Another breath. And then switching your grip if you have a strap, so that the strap is in the left hand, and dropping that leg out to the left. Again, if you have a block, you can kickstand your leg on the block. And that just allows you to just really have this feel juicy, where there's not a lot of gripping or holding or effort. You're just really releasing and melting into the pose. Allowing things to lengthen and open. Nice big belly breath. And release. And then as you're ready, inhaling the legs up overhead. And then taking that leg across the body on a diagonal. Check in with the neck, check in with the shoulders, soft jaw. And feel, see if you can find that connection to your piriformis. And if you're not finding it, it might mean that your piriformis isn't tight, which is a good thing. If you do feel it, it'll kind of zing right there. My piriformis is traditionally pretty tight. So it's kind of like an intensified stretch right down the middle of your glute. And then taking the twist of your choice, remembering knee on knee is the most gentle. Keep that left shoulder down. The left arm reaches out, looking over the arm if you want to bring the twist up into the neck. And you can also have the bottom leg extend, sole of the foot on the top of the knee. Or you can extend that leg straight. Listening to the body. What suits you best? Nice breath down into the belly. and draw the leg in. And again, spreading love, spreading kindness, compassion, gratitude onto this leg. Connecting to this leg, looking at this leg with loving, kind eyes, without judgment. And then release the strap and extend the leg. And drop down and listen to yourself and say, am I ready for Shavasana? Or is there one last thing that my body would love? Listen to yourself here. And then as you feel ready, coming into your version of Shavasana. Traditionally, it's practiced on the back. Lift the hips, flatten the lumbar spine. Legs are a little bit open, feet flop open, palms are up. But if this version of Shavasana doesn't suit you, doesn't serve you, then do what your body is asking for. Maybe a pillow under the knees, maybe legs up the wall pose, maybe you lay on one side or the other. Listen to the body. Close the eyes. Go inside. Drop down. Cultivating silence. And if you notice breath by breath that you've gone somewhere else, compassionately and kindly, gently lead yourself back to this practice of presence. So our poem today is from Dana, and Dana writes, the title is One. Within us lie the answers to our deepest questions and the antidote for all our fears. The divine is not an abstraction. It's as clear and intimate as a heartbeat or a whisper. We are penetrated, suffused, caressed, cell by cell and synapse by synapse, with the same love that set the galaxies to spinning. No matter how identified we've become with mind and body, we can release the thoughts that blind us to the truth. Seek the still point where the words you and I lose meaning, where we meet and merge as one. Breathing here as you feel yourself opening up to the sense that you have an opportunity to connect more deeply. Connect more deeply to whatever it is that speaks to your heart, whether you describe it as Source or the universe, the divine, God. Whatever speaks to your heart, opening up to this knowledge that you are so much more than this body, than this individual self. Breathing here. And then as you're ready, listening to the body, bringing movement back to the body. Whatever that looks like, the way your body wants to move. And then as you're ready, slowly rolling over onto the right side, cradling the heart. Maybe rocking just a little bit and just sending yourself so much love, so much gratitude for this amazing essence that you are. And carefully pressing yourself up into an easy seat. Rubbing the hands. And bringing the hands again into Hakini Mudra. Fingertips lightly press, bringing the thumb up to Agya Chakra. And let's breathe here as we Om out.